Last time I had my tractor down in southern Ohio and I towed it back home, I noticed something unusual on my trailer in the front by the toolbox. I started thinking on the ride home, what could I have kicked up that caused this, and nothing was coming to mind, and it even perplexed Willow. After a little bit more investigation, I did find the culprit. A leaking pinion seal just behind the drive shaft. I ended up finding a garage nearby that would replace it for about $150, and I thought that was worth it than me getting all dirty and maybe something else going wrong. But let's get started with this week's episode. Well, hello, welcome back to Tale 3 Cabins. It's Sunday, and tomorrow is Monday, opening day for gun season down here in southern Ohio. I just got down here. It's a pretty wet, miserable day right now, but the temps are kind of warm. It's almost 60 degrees, and there's actually a thunderstorm going on just a little bit to the east of us. But tomorrow's opening day, and I also talked about us tearing down this cabin at one time, and we put those plans on hold. And now we have a new update to those plans. So why don't you stick around and check it out. Typically on the Sunday before the Monday of opening day, there's the parade of pickup trucks and all-terrain vehicles. Hold it! Hold it! Oh, that's big. You gotta come over a couple inches. Now that we're all situated on the outside, it's time to do a little bit of organization on the inside of the cabin. A little too wet to be sitting outside this evening, so we're going to stay on the inside, watch some football, and eat some chicken paprikash. Oh, man.
Might need it, I don't know.
Yeah. Meal fit for a king. It's Monday morning just before sunrise. Everybody has an idea where they're going to be going hunting. I'm going to stick a little bit close to the cabin this morning. I've got a problem with my knee and I can't walk too good right now. I got a good limp going. I'm not too far away from the cabin, and I'm nearby a stand that we used to call Old Faithful, so I came over here to pay my respects. Old Faithful is one of those stands where you're always sure to see something, and if you wanted to get a deer, you could probably get one in this stand. It's not that far from the cabin, and a lot of times you could hear the guys talking down below, and it never fazed the deer to be walking through here. All in all, this morning I only heard about a half dozen shots. Doesn't appear that anything is nearby. Doesn't appear that any one of those shots involved their hunting party. It's about 10 o'clock and I'm going to head down and just start making some breakfast, some coffee going, get some things situated, and just take it easy a little bit because I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to be down here the whole week. I wasn't down at the cabin very long. I looked out the side window and could see something staring back at me. She hung out around the cabin for about a half hour, and no, this is not her on the grill, although it could be a distant relative. Everyone came down for lunch. No one really saw anything up there, just a few deer here and there, and they're quite small. Yeah, I actually think it's a little easier to walk this way down, especially with that rope there, because that's the hardest part. Right. Since I came in first this morning, I was the first one to get out this afternoon, just in time to get up into my stand and see the parade of UTVs going up the main path. I had about 3 or 4 deer come through, nothing of any significance, and I think a lot of us saw the same deer walking through each other's spots.
Yeah, but I didn't see their heads. They one question and went down toward the bottom. I think that's where I put Nick.
Yeah.
You know that field where that one time you pulled your trailer?
Yeah.
And you remember I hunted that other wall over there?
Right.
Well, I took them in that field and I said, here, get in here. I said, they might come right out to this field. Well, I seen 2 deer. I just caught them. And they were kind of moving. They were on the run. And one looked really big. And next thing you know, well, I thought for sure he would shoot. Well,
Yeah.
he didn't. He didn't shoot until 4:35. I seen these deer right after I got up here.
Yeah.
And then one was, I mean, big body, but they were going down toward that area. So, and they were kind of running. So maybe they slowed down and then took their time and worked their way to them. We'll have to go see. You put it on your video about making a parking lot here for us, and you park over there.
That's how you get better Wi-Fi over there.
You get Wi-Fi from up there?
That's why I brought it up here.
Are you watching movies?
So I got an email from Ecoflow, who I did this review on a couple weeks ago, and they said they really liked it and enjoyed it. And could I remind my viewers that they still have a holiday sale going on till December 26th? And I emailed them back and I said, well, I don't want to be too repetitive. I just did a review on this. So if something comes up while I'm down at a hunting camp, maybe I'll make mention of it. I brought this down to hunting camp, and my main use for it is to put it on my UTV. And you can see it there in the garage. I got the UTV from hunting. And every time I go up on top of the hill, I'm bringing this power station up, and then I am hooking it up to a Wi-Fi router. And in that Wi-Fi router is a SIM card that gives me cellular data. And I'm basically making a hotspot for the whole top of our hill. And even though I'm a couple hundred feet away from where my UTV is, I'm getting good signal and I can use my phone. And that works out great. The other thing I can use it for is if my battery's a little low, I can bring a trickle charger with me and charge it while I'm up there for 4 or 5 hours hunting, then come back and not have to worry about a dead battery. But anyways, one of the neat things about this Ecoflow power station is the app that comes with it, and it works through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a little bit far away from where the UTV is right now, but I was able to pick it up on Wi-Fi. And sometimes you have to reset your Wi-Fi routers, where you have to unplug them for a period of time and plug them back in. Well, using the app, I was able to get into my Ecoflow power station, turn off the power supply for a few seconds, and then turn it back on and essentially toggle the power switch on the router, and I'm up and running again. So that's kind of cool to have that feature. So that's my 60 seconds on the Ecoflow power station. They're still having their holiday sale going till the day after Christmas. And I'll put any information down below in the description. If they have a coupon code, I'll add that too. And if you're looking for something like the River 2 series here, which this is a River 2 Max, or maybe something else like the Delta 2 series, a little bit more oomph that kicks it up a notch, you can get more information down below. So it's the end of day one of Gun Week down here in southern Ohio. It's turning out to be a pretty nice evening. It started out a little soggy in the morning, but tonight seems like it'd be a good night to have a nice campfire.
Like you said, buy some land and
All the money he's got, he'll never spend it because he don't spend.
oh, his kids will get it. No, he doesn't spend it on anything. Even when he buys work vans, they're used.
Turned out to be a perfect evening for a campfire. Last couple of years we had snow or it was raining, and we can really take advantage of using up some of the old firewood.
Good question. Till late against B shift.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the cabin down here. What are our future plans? What has changed? And what are we hoping for? For those of you that watch our videos religiously, you may have saw a couple where I talked about demolishing the old cabin here. This is about 2 years ago. Tearing that down and building, I don't want to say my dream cabin, but a very nice cabin that would be very functional, still have that in the woods feel, and I kind of gave you a little demo of what it would look like on the hillside if we eliminated the cabin here. Have a nice little drive-in garage underneath, and then the cabin up above, some nice big windows to overlook the hillside across the way, and that would have been great. Many hours of looking into different manufacturers, different companies. At the time it was like a perfect storm to not do it. COVID was pretty much hitting its height. Building materials were shooting way up in price, then they'd come down a little bit, then they'd shoot up again, then they'd come down, and basically they're staying pretty high. And then the labor market was terrible too. I went in town to find different contractors, and all of them said that they were at least 18 months to 2 years out. So that was disheartening. I checked with some companies that build like prefab cabins, and they took the plans and they reconfigured it and got it close to what we were looking for. And all I was looking for was just a shell. Just a shell. I would finish off the inside, put up the drywall or tongue and groove lap siding, depending how we wanted to go, and I'd finish off everything else, the kitchen, everything. I just wanted a shell, weather tight shell. And the best price that I could get was $180, and that did not include the foundation work. So we were looking over $200,000 for something that I was hoping that I could do for about $150,000. So it was just put out of our reach. This area, it would be hard to recoup if we decided to turn around and sell it. It's just not, there's not a lot of work around here. It's just a little bit of farmland, mostly cows that are being raised. A lot of people drive into Marietta, that's their main job. But it's not an area where you could build yourself a nice $250,000 cabin and then get that $250,000 back. It just wasn't going to happen. But we decided maybe that we would kill the cabin idea, go with something that's more like a pre-manufactured type home. And we're kind of leaning in that direction. We're going to do away with not having that drive-in garage, which is okay because, you know, that would be more of a maintenance issue. And so we're looking at just making it more comfortable to come down here, just a little bit bigger and just, you know, a little bit more luxurious than what we have. I mean, it's not bad when I come down here by myself. If I have 4 or 5 buddies that come with me, it's pretty tight in there. We're walking into each other. Every time Karen comes down here, she wants to spend less and less time down here just because the cabin is starting to get to the point where we have to do some major work on it or we have to tear it down. So it's starting to get infiltrated with mice. I find mice all the time when we come down here. We never used to have that problem. It is hard to hunt down exactly where they're coming in with this type of structure being lifted off the ground a little bit. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is just to get rid of this cabin here. But we still want to come down here and enjoy it, but without the added expense. But we've been looking around, and I staked out an area right now, and this area is about 27 by 48. And we can get a pre-manufactured home for about $119,000. And that's everything finished. I would still have to put a foundation in, and then we would probably add a well and a septic because we don't have those things right now. We don't need it for this type of hunting cabin that we've had. So that's a little bit more of an expense too. But that would be a luxury compared to what we have now. We would have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, a pretty good sized structure, and it'd be sealed up tight. It'd be new. It's going to last our lifetime, so we're not really worried about long-term maintenance on such a structure. 27 by 48. I could probably put it up behind the existing cabin right now. These people say that they can get these things into pretty precarious spots. So we could probably work something out where we could get this in and set up and still have the cabin here to use as a little base while we're working on this and getting it ready and getting the utilities in and all that other stuff. And then I wouldn't have to scramble to get rid of the stuff on the inside or find a place to store it temporarily if we wanted to tear it down first and then put something in its place. So I'm just staking things out here. I do have the room. I probably have to take out a couple trees, maybe widen the yard just a little bit, but I think it would work. It would give us a little bit more yard in the front area, a little bit more parking area for cars. So right now it's not a done deal, but we're looking into it, and it seems like it would be the way to go now. And this would be instantaneous. This would not be a lot of work that I would have to do. It would be done. It would come with appliances. Basically, you would just have to hook up your utilities and you're good to go. So a lot of work that I would not have to do, or my friends would have to come down here and help me do. This thing would just be pretty much ready to go as soon as they delivered it. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a guy come out and we're going to see just how feasible it would be to put a new structure behind the existing cabin. I'll be curious to see what he says, if we can actually get a structure up and behind there, if they can get one. I don't know how they're going to do it, if they can get a crane, if they can actually back it up, if they've got some miracle drivers that can do miracle work. So for this structure, plan A would be to bring it up our auxiliary driveway, which we really don't use anymore because it's been overgrown. There's some gravel down there, but it's pretty much buried now with mud and grass. And plan A would be trying to come up the side of that hill along the side of the cabin, and it's a little steep. So I don't know how feasible that is. Plan B would rely on my neighbors, and there's an old path we used to have between our properties where we would just walk back and forth to go visit here and there, and it used to meet up right behind their barn. And their barn now has a little parking area in the back, so there's a drive that goes all the way to their barn. So it would involve clearing out a lot of the thicket and making a swath through that area. And I'd also have to get the measurements of exactly how wide this would need to be to get this tractor trailer through there. I would see would be our best chance, but I really don't want to rely on our neighbors. I don't want to mess anything up over there. We went and checked it out this afternoon just before we came up here, Don and I, and just we kind of know there's a tight spot over by the house where there's a tree in the house, and by using their drive, and then there's a little tight spot closer to their barn. And then once you get back there, it's just a matter of clearing out the thicket. So we'll see what happens. It's kind of all up in the air. This is all new to me, and I'm going to learn some things tomorrow. And that will probably be the fate of what's going to happen. If it's going to be something that's unattainable, we might not do it. But if he says that they can get it up there no problem, and it's not going to be any additional cost or anything, then it's probably going to be a go. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, this video is well past the 15-minute mark, and I'm going to pick up where we left off. I'll pick up with the conversation I have with this gentleman from Hotspot Homes. We'll see if plan A, B, or maybe there's going to have to be a plan C, and which one of those will be best. We'll finish out the rest of Gun Week.
Good. Tom.
And also have a little video in between these two, just a little holiday video of a special place we went to. So I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe. Click on that little bell when you want to know when a new video is coming out. Don't forget the like button, and keep an eye on us. Take care, everybody.